Hello everyone on the second channel, just getting started. Be a quick one today, because I can't stream too long. Make myself a bit smaller. And let's unprivate the stream. Get started. Where's the private one? Hopefully my super chat is working. Not that I really care about that today, but try to fix it. Let's go. Alright, that should be ready. Let me just check. Oh fuck. Phone's gonna be out of battery soon. But yeah, I'm gonna get everything sorted. We're gonna have a quick stream, maybe like 30-40 minutes. I'm just gonna share this quick on Twitter and my Discord. Twitter done. Just stick it on the Discord quick and then we're ready. Wait for some more people to join, but then I'll get properly into it. Is my mic alright? Yeah, it looks alright. Am I the only one in here? It looks like it so far, but we've only been live for a minute or so. So, wait a bit longer. Alright, paste. Alright, just going to stick my phone on charge on my bed. Alright, but yeah, we're gonna go through what happened today. Like I said, for about half an hour. But I hope everyone's okay. When did I stream last? I streamed on Saturday. Was it Saturday? Saturday? No, it was Thursday. I streamed on Thursday. But yeah, glad you guys have been enjoying the videos. I'm glad people watched the Anglo-Saxon one yesterday. I was really surprised at how many people watched that one. Because when I uploaded it, I was like, I had that little sense of dread, and I was like, oh, damn, I've picked the wrong topic. Like, this video is not going to do well. And then, surprisingly, it's done really well. So I'm happy about that. Wait a bit longer. So, because I'm looking through Twitter and stuff. Also, something I want to talk about today is the reaction to the Chauvin stuff, or Chauvin, however you say it, by conservatives is completely fucking insane. Like, I wrote on Twitter, it's basically just like mask off fascism at this point. I'll get my Twitter up to start with and we can read the stories in a sec. Let me see what it is on OBS. It's just like absolutely fucking insane. Like, this is what I tweeted. Because how can you watch those videos and support the cops in that instance? Like, it's mad. Can't understand it at all. So I just get my chat up. Hey, everyone else who's joined, let me just put the live chat on. I did the thing where you accidentally click a notification right away. Oh, wait. Do we know how long of a sentence he'll get? I think I was hearing on the news 40 years. Chauvin got yeeted into a cold, dank cell. Oh, hi Sarah. I haven't heard from you in a while. I messaged you on Twitter just to check if you're okay, because I was like, I haven't heard from you in ages, and you haven't tweeted in ages. But no, glad to see you're here. I actually wanted to message you about the artwork, in terms of, like, I don't know. What did I say? Is there any social media you use at the moment, Sarah, that's good to contact you on? I got you on Twitter. That's about it. I'm not going to celebrate until I hear the sentence he receives. I'll probably get to that. Conservatives are coping. Yeah, I literally do not understand. Like, here's the difference right here between British and American conservatism, and I hate both of them. The ex-Home Secretary and Tory MP Sajid Javid was tweeting, and he was celebrating the conviction. This guy was the Home Secretary who set the Royal Navy on refugees coming to here into the UK in dinghies. He did that, and he's celebrating the conviction, while conservatives in America are all calling it disgusting and thinking he shouldn't have been convicted of murder. And it's just insane to me. It's like any human who watches that video and you think the cops are in the right there. And the thing conservatives are talking about is like the fentanyl stuff. And it's like, I do not even care. I don't know what I don't care what he's done in the first place. But those cops, I don't care if the cops knew, but they didn't. The cops did not know his background at all. All they saw was a black man. So it's completely irrelevant. He could have been some sort of murderer. Obviously, I'm not saying he was. He could have been, though. And I'd feel the same way about it. Because all the cops saw was a black man. They didn't see, well, to them that might seem like a criminal. They didn't know anything about this guy. He could have been like, you know, some Harvard scholar working at university, or he could have been anything else. It doesn't matter what his background was at all. I can make a new Twitter. If you have Discord or anything, that's good as well. I just wanted to ask about your great design. By the way, there's someone, SideQuest Yeet in the chat. She designed this, and it's my logo. I hope you don't mind. My girlfriend made me a big printout thing. It's also on my it's also on this, my little planner now. How's this look? So I'm just looking at my OBS quick. Yeah, it's on my little planner. So in the chat, SideQuest Yeet drew this for me, and really nicely, she drew it for me without asking, and crazy enough, she drew it based on a weird picture of Mr. Robot art I once pulled up on a live stream. I never even asked. So yeah, amazing art. Yeah, just on Discord, I just wanted to ask something about merch stuff. Sorry, again, read some more of your comments. 420, let's celebrate Chauvin's conviction. Oh yeah, it's 420. I don't even know it is. Well, I don't even know what the date is pretty much at the moment. Okay, 40 years is what you can get. 12 and a half years. Conservatives be like, what the F, for the judge not to see Crowder's video? Yeah. That video, man, he should be banned off YouTube. Like, he is literally just testing him. He wants to be banned. American conservatives simp for a police state. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fist bumped Carl Rittenhouse. That was disgusting. Oh, okay, Sarah's saying you have no idea how excited I am seeing my pic. Yeah, it's so good. Sarah, I don't think I will ever change it. Unless, like, I suddenly become obsessed with something else. Like I was with Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot font as well, yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll show you guys what it's based on. For me by the internet. Justice has been served, yep. Okay, I'm just gonna check how many of you are here and we'll just get started. 91, okay. That is enough people. So to start with, everyone, this is basically what I was saying to people earlier. At times like these expose American conservatism as just pure fascism. And I was on Hassan B's profile just because he was responding to a lot of this craziness. So let's look at his tweet replies. Because he was replying to a lot of these people. Sorry if you can hear that. Yeah, so Martin Luther King III saying, today justice was served for the Floyd family, but we still live in a nation clothed in injustice. True justice for black Americans can only come through a complete revolution of values. We need an overhaul of the systems deeply rooted in racism. Justice for George Floyd. Of course there's going to be a pivot. Expect more police to quit in the coming weeks. And Hassan saying, if cops are quitting because they can't murder their bare hands, why are you upset? So this one was pretty crazy about Ben Shapiro. I've muted him because I fucking hate him. So CNN's Don Lemon, justice has been served. Ben Shapiro, and we all know he would have never said this if the reverse verdict had been reached. And Hassan saying, almost like there's a difference between a murderer going free or not. Because, yeah, if he wasn't convicted, that wouldn't have been justice. Because, you know, a court, and we do live by the court system, doesn't mean the courts can't be wrong. And in the case of police, you know, normally they are pretty wrong and police get off with stuff. So justice has been done. And if he wasn't found guilty, justice wouldn't have been done. Ben Shapiro, just ridiculous anyway. But let's get into, like, as it happened. The Guardian were doing a little live stream. So here you see Chauvin guilty of second-degree murder, guilty of third-degree murder, and guilty of manslaughter. Chauvin has been remanded in custody of the county sheriff. He was directed out of the courtroom in handcuffs moments after the guilty verdict was read in the murderer's case. So the attorneys for George Floyd's family have released statements following the conviction. So attorney Ben Crump commented, painfully earned justice has arrived for Floyd's family and the community here in Minneapolis, but today's verdict goes beyond this city and has significant implications for the country and even the world. Justice for Black America is justice for all of America. This case is a turning point in American history for accountability of law enforcement and sends a clear message we hope is heard clearly in every city and every state. Today's verdict is so critical and that not only holds Derek Chauvin accountable, accountable for his horrific actions, but it reinforces significant police reforms underway in Minneapolis, including use of force reporting, a requirement to keep body-worn cameras on, and that's just crazy that, you know, police have body cameras but turn them off all the time. Again, weird country, America. And a policy for officers to de-escalate non-threatening encounters by disengaging or walking away. Now we call on Minnesota state lawmakers to pass. Attorney L. Chris Stewart also said, today the world had its hope and its faith restored in the American justice system. I wouldn't go that far, but it is nice to have justice for once. All that people crave is accountability when an officer kills a Black American, and obviously we crave that not happening in the first place. For far too long that has never happened. Now George's soul can finally rest in peace. Justice has been served. Lawyer Jeff Storm similarly stated, the impact of George Floyd's death on Minneapolis is impossible to explain, but today's verdict is an important step towards healing. The community here has struggled to create accountability for officers who have used excessive force over many years and too many lives and caused so much pain and suffering. This jury has sent a clear and direct message. This can never happen again. So, can we watch this video in here? So here's him being taken out in handcuffs. So very satisfying to see. This lawyer, by the way, is a massive piece of shit. So we now have a pool report detailing the scene inside Judge Peter Cahill's courtroom for the verdict. So Philanese Floyd, George Floyd's brother, was sitting with his head bowed and his hands folded in front of his face, perhaps in prayer. And he hugged the prosecutor, Jerry Blackwell, and Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. You might remember him, big Bernie backer back in the day. So let me see if I've got anything on the and how long he'll be sentenced for. So this is Keith Ellison talking. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris called the family as well. Just gonna have a little. It's updated. Okay. So, okay, I'll read this one last bit. Courtney Ross, George Floyd's girlfriend, has called for celebration following the guilty verdict. Thank God for giving us this moment. We needed it. The city needed it. His spirit is here with you all. It's a moment to celebrate. Take tonight just to be glad that we have one day of victory. This battle is going to continue. Floyd is one man. George Floyd is a movement. Put your arms around somebody today. Can we all just love each other for a moment? Ross says there are so many other families of black men killed by the police in Minnesota who still need justice. She takes a moment to pray, surrounded by raised cell phone cameras. Behind her voice is the constant sound of car horns, honking in celebration. Also, in the chat, I saw a lot of this on Twitter. Could anyone hear public celebration after the verdict, wherever you are in America, if you are in America right now? Let's check out what's happening with the trend. I want to see how long he's getting. Don't want to play that. Alright, so before all counts, all guilty. Has anyone seen anyone reporting how long he'll get? That's what I'm trying to find. Oh. Okay, I don't want the videos because I don't want to be copyrighted. But yeah, it's the thing that bugs me about everything like this is that it wouldn't be surprising. Wait, that's about right. It wouldn't be surprising if he got let off, despite the overwhelming evidence, which is the crazy thing. Wait, am I spelling his name wrong or something? No, I'm spelling it wrong. One sec. So Gravel Institute saying Chauvin is only the 6th police officer to have been convicted of murdering someone while on duty in the last 15 years. There are thousands of others like him working as cops. So here's some pictures from around the thing. So nice. So this is crazy. Derek Chauvin is the first white police officer convicted for murdering a black man in Minnesota history. And think how many times that has happened. And this guy's saying he might spend the rest of his life in prison, but some of you guys are saying in the chat might not happen. Surf saying it's the bare minimum. The racism and the system that perpetrates white supremacy is still dominant. So what is this? So Alan Dershowitz, Epstein's best mate. What Maxine, and this guy's obviously crazy Trump conservative, did, coupled with the judge refusing to sequester the jury, will lead to the US Supreme Court ultimately reversing any conviction. I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I'm reading some more stuff, and I'm going to take some comments. Most of this is just videos, so I'll skip over these quick. But yeah, the conservative reaction to this stuff, let's just go on Ben Shapiro's page, has been disgusting. And it's just so mask off white supremacy. So let's have a look at Shabino. Also, Shabino, okay, well, let's have a look at this. Imagine how much of a piece of shit you have to be to actually even try and be a contrarian and all this stuff. Carry some more. Okay, Ben Shapiro. Okay, what do people think? Do you think he's paid to be this much of a contrarian, or he's just a total dumbass? So it's fully insane that the President of the United States seeks to address a nation in the aftermath of an individual criminal justice case, but this is the new normal and has been since Ferguson. I don't even know what to say to that, is that the President needs to talk about this because it's a case that has just been in the global public eye. It's the top story on BBC News because it sparked demonstrations across the world, including the UK, because it was such a blatant murder of an innocent black man by a racist white policeman. It was so blatant, it caused, all the protests last year, which were met with insane police brutality, even shooting, foreign journalists with non-lethal rounds. And for him to think oh, the president shouldn't be commented on individual cases. It's been this way since Ferguson, because Ferguson was also something like this, not as, wide and large scale. But again, is he paid to be this stupid? I know he's paid for his insane takes a lot of the time, but is he paid to be this dumb? Is he paid to be this much of a contrarian? Can he not just shut up? It's police brutality, and can he not just be happy, this guy? Or even just keep his mouth shut, because we can all just see what a racist piece of shit he is. So, I'm going to take some comments now. All right, go back up. All right. Up. I want to get to me asking people if they could hear celebrations. Someone saying the convictions may stack up on top of each other. So second degree is likely 25 years. So hopefully he spends the rest of his life in prison. One second, let me just do something quick. Shit, one sec. Alright. Okay, the title years are going to be decided by the judge. Total maximums are 40, 20, and 10. I support All Lives Matter. Who is this person? So this is a crazy stat someone just put in the chat. I don't know how valid it is. Chauvin is the 7th on-duty cop to be convicted of murder since 2005, with 15,000 police killings in that time. That's absolutely, like, crazy. Sentencing is in 8 weeks. Oh, okay. Seems like a long time. Cooper saying, heard some people cheering outside, as I was. That's cool. Sorry. I didn't hear people celebrating where I live, which is surprising because it's a blue state. They were celebrating and honking horns in downtown Columbus, Ohio. That's cool. No one is celebrating where I live, in a red suburb. Not surprising. We have some victory in America for once. I know it's not much, but still, this is nice to see. Yeah, it is, like his girlfriend was saying, just for the moment, try and enjoy, you know, oh, someone calling me fat. Again, this is a weird insult I constantly get, that I'm somehow fat. I really, really don't understand how I give off this impression. I don't know if people just use it to try and trigger me. Paid for by the Koch brothers. Ben is just a moron surrendered by yes men. Sarah saying, considering Ben thinks women getting wet means they have an infection, I think he really thinks this stuff. It's half and half. Wait, where has it gone? No, he's actually a fascist. He's pushing his ideas. Sorry, I'm just banning some people. He's an idiot, but he's also paid for by his handlers. Michael Tracy. Why are we talking about Michael Tracy? They're going mask off after the success of Trump. Yeah, they have been for a long time. Yeah, Jack, I don't think I will be making an actual video on this. But yeah, like police brutality, you're saying Aborigines in Australia, but also natives in Canada and America, is definitely something. I think Chauvin actually shot a native man as well, like 12 years ago. So it is definitely relevant. Sorry, I seem to have drawn some horrible people into this chat. Why does the US even have a National Guard? Their police are basically a military. Yeah, like all the war on terror surplus the police have. Tristan saying, out here in Los Angeles, it's going crazy. That's cool. It must be a cool moment to be a part of. If anyone wants to get a good read into how racist Ben is, I recommend checking out his book, True Allegiance. Is that the thing everyone always sends him? The police have links to slave catchers, yep. Isn't his wife a doctor? Yeah, she is. Do you think Ben Shapiro listens to women, even if that woman is his wife? No, probably not. David saying, I heard more cheering when the Vikings play. I think there were multiple people Chauvin had killed throughout his career. Yeah, the thing is, it's the same in like the US is the worst example, because the police are not only like a violent gang. There's like people were outlining in the chat. There's just like absolutely no accountability for any of this stuff. But I feel that's a problem with police. Like in the UK, we've had a lot of police brutality in the last like 2 or 3 months, and people talk about the good apples and the bad apples, and it's like, where are the whistleblowers? Where is the whistleblowers telling us about all the cover-ups of police brutality? Where are the people resigning in disgust? Like, let's say Derek Chauvin got off. Would any police resign? I really doubt it. So where are these good apples? And it goes hand in hand with a lot of the police in America. Obviously, in America, you barely need any training for police. I saw, like, this isn't. I'm not trying to be offensive to obese people, but I saw a policeman in America the other day, and I was pretty astounded at how obese he was. And the problem I mean with that is that this guy has a gun, and he's really obese. And if you think in your America your job is to chase down criminals, if you're not in good shape, you're gonna go for the gun so much more like easier. And I think in the UK, there are a lot of fitness tests to get in, and I think you do have evaluations every so often. I'm not sure what the space between them is, but you cannot, if you're gonna have overweight policemen, you cannot be giving them firearms. Like, I'm not saying you can't be a policeman who is overweight or not in good shape, but you cannot have a gun if you're overweight. If you can't, I don't think they should be having guns anyway, but like, if you can't do, your policing job and preventing crime, as allegedly you say it is, by chasing criminals or maybe saving people from danger, like you always say it is, then why are so many police in America so overweight that they physically wouldn't be able to chase these people? So giving them a gun, if I'm an overweight policeman who can't run, someone runs away from me, and I have in my mind justification to shoot them, then why would I not do that? I mean, I'm also putting my mind in my head in like the head of a psycho policeman, like anyone who joins the police in America. So that's something which was crazy to me as well. And like police and the thing in the UK, what I've been saying is, these guys all cover for each other. There's so much stuff they cover up for each other. And this is in the UK where you pretty much can't get away with, as a policeman, with murdering someone, although they have in the past. So the stuff they get away with, like that Tamir Rice thing, is one of the worst things I think I've ever watched on video. And it's just insane to me no one got found guilty of murder for that. Like, and imagine how much of a psychopath and how racist you have to be to pull up right next to a 12-year-old boy and shoot him dead, no matter if he has a gun or not. No matter even if you think he has a gun, why are you getting so close to him? I don't know if people have seen the video, and why are you shooting him dead? I thought in the cop shows it's like freeze, drop your weapon, and then I think someone just said in the chat, Veronica, they shot a guy surrendering the other day. Not a guy, a boy, a 13-year-old boy. He looks younger than that, and they shot him when he was sticking his hands up. So they don't even obey like their own rules. Even people are not running. And then why would people not run when they see this stuff? It's just like absolutely insane. What did Andy know? The thing, Hazian, I don't even like reading this conservative stuff because it makes me lose hope in humanity. That the thing with the George Floyd stuff is it's so explicit, it's so wrong, it's all videoed, and if you just have like any semblance of humanity, it's just fucked up, like really fucked up. Killing someone slowly in a really brutal way in front of a bunch of people, and there are now significant segments of America, millions and millions of people, who think that the cop was in the right to do this. And yeah, the 13-year-old boy, people think, Andy Noah was calling him like little homicide. Again, it doesn't matter. And what I don't understand is that this is why these police are so racist, is that surely, even if there's a scenario where you potentially have to shoot a kid with a gun, surely you do not want to live with that. And surely you would do everything in your power to not do that. And that's the problem with police in America, is that they're trying to keep themselves safe. They won't put themselves even in the most minimal part of risk. Like that boy surrendering, hands up, bang, shot dead because potentially maybe he still had his gun. I can't take the 2 seconds to really evaluate the situation. So it's just, to me, it's just like the police in America, it's about safety for them above all else. And you know, that's why they brutalize people, because they can't take a risk, even a minimal amount of risk. And that's why they shoot, you know, people dead pretty easily. And there's something seriously wrong with the training. There's something seriously wrong with the people psychologically who join the police. Like, I think even if you join the police in the UK, you're a sellout and a class traitor. But if you join the police in the US, you are just full on, like, not there in the head. Like, you are some psychopath who wants violence, because you know what that job entails in America. It's not like the UK, where you probably get, like, a hard-on from pushing people about and stuff. It's like in America, like, you know you're going to be shooting your gun pretty much. And most of the time, you're going to be shooting at poor people, and it will probably be likely, if you're in, you know, certain parts of the US, you're mainly going to be shooting at black people. And think about how long this has been going on. Think about the 1960s and everything. And we're talking about, like, white supremacist infiltration of law enforcement, but, like, it's always gone hand in hand with law enforcement. And it's been happening for decades and decades and decades. And it's just really depressing that and the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if he was found not guilty. And that's the state of America right now. And the problem with things like the juries is that a lot of people in America privately are very, very racist, and it might not show up in jury selection. So you might end up with a jury who are sympathetic to cops over people like that. So it's just, you know, I don't really know what to say, to be honest, in terms of just policing is institutionally racist in the UK and the US. The militarization of the police and how free and happy they are to dole out violence to just your everyday person is pretty sick. And yeah, like, to be a policeman, I don't care where it is. Policemen exist to protect property. They exist to protect the elite. They do not exist to keep us safe. I've spoke about my own experience of police throughout my life. It's never been positive. Never felt like they cared about me. Never done a good job. Even then, the situations I was in were pretty clearly, what you could tell what the right thing to do was, and they did. So me and my friend once were assaulted by this drunk guy. He went and assaulted a bouncer across the road. Police came, spoke to him, let him just walk off, had a go at us instead, thought we were causing trouble. And they let this guy off who'd assaulted about 3 people, and he just walked off into the night. Probably going to go do it again. Go to another pub, go to another nightclub and stuff and do it again. My sister's had a really bad experience with police, with something way more serious, and just, like, in general, we've seen the UK police lately very, very willing to, like, I know someone directly who was beaten up by 4 policemen with their clubs for no reason. Like, literally pretty small woman, 25 years old like me, and beaten up by the police at a protest. So to join the police and be this type of person, you're not all there, you're probably a thug, and at the very bare minimum, you're a class traitor, because when the time comes, and I've been saying this for a long time, like with climate change and the economy and stuff, there's going to be a time in the UK, I think, there's going to be really bad riots. And there's been a couple of riots lately, but I think in the next 20 years, there's going to be really bad ones. And if you join the police, you're going to be cracking people's skulls to preserve the status quo and preserve a system that is so unequal for most of us, and just keeps enriching the top 1% while screwing over the rest of us. And the police ensure that if there's a movement to rise up, and the thing is, here's what people get twisted sometimes. Even if we go to the Arab Spring, and you're thinking about, like, a military dictatorship in Egypt with Mubarak, the people who were cracking the protesters' skulls were not the military, because most people in the military in Egypt are doing their national service. So they are the people. Whereas it was Mubarak's police force that were going out into, like, Tahrir Square every day and beating up protesters and killing protesters and shooting protesters. And it's always the police, because with the army, a lot of the time, you're signing up for, like, economic opportunity. A lot of people who join the military are poor, where I think a lot of people join the police are middle class. And that's the difference there, is that even in the UK, like, my friend was in the military, and he talks about a lot of people in the UK military are from poor places in the north of England. And then also some people generally join the army because they're pretty patriotic. And although I think patriotism's pretty, not for me, and I don't agree with it, some people do have a more liberal view of patriotism, where they actually care about their country and they don't agree with what the police do. But if you join the police, you might think you've joined to keep us safer. But in reality, you don't do much for us. And in reality, in a lot of play communities, you just hurt them even more and you escalate the situations. Like with the riots in the UK lately, the police escalate it. Like with the riots in America over the last year, the police are the ones who make those into riots. It's not the people, unless, sometimes it's a grave injustice and stuff. But again, I don't care if people burn down a Walmart. Walmart's one of the biggest corporations in the United States. Who cares if they burn down one Walmart? I care about people a lot more than property. Property can be rebuilt, especially by billion-dollar companies. People's lives cannot be replaced. And it's just, it's always the police. It's always a secret police in these dictatorships. It's always the police in these like semi-dictatorships. It's the police who do this stuff. And that's the difference sometimes I feel like with reaching out to people, trying to make them agree with my politics. You're not going to get too many left-wing policemen. There are a lot of people in the military who are left-wing, especially in a place like America, because the military is the only place that will provide you with these benefits. And although, the American armed forces and the British armed forces are arms of imperialist states and stuff, it just goes with the tradition. A lot of the people they send to die are some of the poorest people. Whereas the police, these people don't really put their lives on the line. They dole out a lot of violence, and they usually join the police for a pretty steady, income flow and a good pension and stuff. And that goes to the problem with policing anyway, is that it's all tied up with capitalism. Is a lot of these people are not going to speak out because they're scared of losing their benefits and their pension. They're scared of all this stuff. So the thing is, that's why I don't think police are very redeemable. And police have this mindset, and the thin blue line is essentially, we know you guys hate us, but we're so above that. Like we know you hate it, but we'll protect you anyway. And we're the thin blue line between chaos and civilization. And it's just not true. I think humans are fundamentally proven throughout history. We are cooperative species in like peacetime and stuff. And we don't often need these things, and communities can sort out their own problems. So in the UK, you're not allowed to police your own community. I don't know if it's the same in America. And what ends up happening is you get a bunch of white middle class people from, say, southwest London, policing poor black neighbourhoods in North London. And how is that supposed to help anything? You've got white people who are more privileged policing poor black neighbourhoods or poor Muslim neighbourhoods. And surely the answer is that you have police. If we're going to keep police, you have local police who are actually accountable to the community because you're a part of the community. If you, like Derek Chauvin wasn't a part, I think he lived in Florida, didn't he? And when you were even disconnected from the community, and they say that because they don't want the police to be intimidated or threatened. Well, I think that if you're going to be in the police and you're actually going to put your life on the line, that should be the part of it, because then you actually have an incentive to be fair, and then you're not going to be able to get away with as much shit as you think you will be if you know you don't actually live in this community. But then people often say, what's the solution? Like, how do we get rid of the police? Well, the police as an institution at the moment is like fundamentally unredeemable in my view. What I would propose is like maybe a more advanced style of community watch. And, so a lot of countries have national service and stuff. I wouldn't mind if there was some sort of national service requirement, and it would have to be combined with pay, obviously, where you might do a year in your community's community watch, and then combine this with having lots of professionals to deal with cases of, mental instability and not using these police forces, and then having communities sort out their own problems. I think that's the way, and having it a democratic institution. And I think, America has a sort of right idea with sometimes electing sheriffs, but of course in a capitalist system, democracy doesn't really exist for this stuff anyway. But I think the idea of like this Western sheriff who just exists in the town and it's more like community led and stuff, that's a better idea. Advance that idea, and let's get communities policing themselves and dealing with themselves, and having mental health professionals in there and not having weapons and stuff. And obviously in America, it's more complex in America because you have the whole issue of insane gun violence as well. And that's another part of the problem in America you got to address a bit more than somewhere in the UK. But, the police essentially act as an occupying force, way too trigger happy, way too gung-ho, way too ready to, use violence to hurt lots of people and stuff. And it's just crazy that I think someone said, 15th person or something like that in 16 years to be convicted, an on-duty cop for murder. And it's just, and so I think someone said in the chat, like, would I prefer like a lefty cop? It doesn't. If you're a cop, it doesn't matter your political beliefs. You're just going to be assimilated in. Like I said, where are the whistleblowers? Where are the good cops? Where are the people resigning at what they saw last summer with the George Floyd protest? Where are the people leaking internal memos about how much force they're using? Where are all these people? Where are the people voting to change the police union leadership? Where are these guys? Where are the good cops? I don't see any. And the thing is, good or bad, it doesn't matter. You're part of a bad institution where to survive in that institution, you've got to be bad and you've got to not report this stuff and you've got to be like everyone else. So it's irredeemable in my view. And they have this whole ideology, the thin blue line, where they think, even though we hate them, they think that's their burden to bear. And they're so above it that, they won't, they'll still protect us anyway, even if we're ungrateful. It's total bullshit. I'll read some comments quick. Sorry, just going up a bit. I've really less hope in humanity. Yeah, I'm with you there. So, not all cops are like that. Like I've already explained my position on that sort of stuff. Specky V saying 2040 US government gives police surplus F-35s after cancelled order by other countries. So in 1980, the LAPD took my parents and my dad's friend behind a station and beat them, saying racial slurs. My dad was on leave from the US Navy and his friend was from the US Marine Corps. Yeah, they don't. The thing is, the army don't care. Not the army. The police don't care if you're in the army or not. Even if they're meant to be thinking they're protecting you as well. Yeah, the Watchmen show was really good, Blake. I really enjoyed that. Showing the relationship between white supremacy and the police. Yeah, and the history of it as well. Yeah, anyone who, like, I can see why people think we need police because of, like, the argument about crime and stuff. But people who, like, passionately support the police, yeah, I am super suspect of them. Bria saying, as a black woman, she's never felt comfortable contacting the police. Even after I experienced racial and sexual violence, I never took it seriously and didn't want to fight. Yeah, Bria, I'm really sorry that happened to you. And police are just useless. Never take anything seriously, and they never do. But they never do what's right because it's more work for them. So Mike was saying, I went to Reddit's law enforcement sub just to see the reaction. That might be a good video to make. They keep trying to say that they have a thankless job and complain about how hard it is to be a cop these days. Unreal. If you guys want to reform policing cops in America, you guys are like in unions and stuff. Why don't you go and do it? Hi Theo, thanks for joining. Let's go to bed at 1 o'clock. Kavanak was streaming, about to fuck up work tomorrow. Thanks a lot for staying out to watch. Police have the most inflated sense of self-importance. Yeah. Michael, you don't need to go to college in the US to become a cop. The sentiment is universal within the blue community. I think you're talking about the thin blue line. Michael saying cops have the most powerful and well-connected unions. Yeah. The only bad union is a cop union. Yeah, I agree, Michael. Like I said, good or bad cop doesn't matter. You can be good, but you're in a bad system. And it's going to make you bad. Should I read some more? There aren't many lefties in policing. Yeah, mostly liberals and conservatives. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you want to go if you want to go join the police, I'm obviously going to be super suspicious. I probably wouldn't be friends with someone if they join the police. Sorry, it's more. How late am I? Pretty late, Spooky Kitty. I had to stream early today. Yeah, cops in the US have better unions than nurses. Okay, yeah, I think I'll end it here because I can't stream as long tonight. But oh, I'm not asking. Oh, it's back. Thank God, because my super chat. Nice. My super chat was broken for months and months, and I never realised until someone told me. I'll end it here. It's just like in terms of, I'll bring it back to my original point. In terms of, oh no, not that. Yeah. So in terms of like, yeah, let me just make it a bit smaller for this last bit. So I've said this a long time, and people often get worked up about it. So at times like these, American conservatism really exposes itself as fascism, and people often say, I've said this a ton. I said American conservatism is a far right ideology, and people are like, oh no, it's centre right. Some people say it's right wing. Some other people say, but at this point. And I was talking to Sirius about this, about the alt-right and the conservative movements. Broadly, like, a lot of them share very similar ideologies. Now, I'm not saying they're, like, you know, Nazis or anything, but it's getting to the point where it's, like, it's so predictable and there's no nuance there, right? Just because it's a white guy killing a black guy, an innocent black guy, you know what side they're going to be on. And it's like a horrible hive mind in America where nearly every conservative believes like George Floyd deserved it or the cop should have got off, and they're going absolutely crazy about this, and they love the police brutality. They love the stuff last year in the summer when black vans are pulling people off the street and they're saying, you know, Antifa are the real fascists and the terrorists and everything like that. And at what point do we stop describing it as conservatism and start describing it as, you know, fascism? Because that's what it is. Ben Shapiro's talking points help radicalize people into doing shootings, and that's just well documented. Lots of them do, and it's just extremely racist, inflammatory rhetoric, and it's also authoritarian as well. These guys talk about being for freedom. Republicans are just outlawed protesting in Florida. In the UK, conservatives as well are like trying to do this as well. These guys meant to be the people who are talking about free speech and freedom. But basically, for them, it's free speech that I like, politics that I like. But if you don't agree with me, no free speech, and have some police, you know, baton in your face, breaking your bones and everything. And I think it's just we've got to stop treating American conservatism as something that has, you know, as something intellectual or that has anything to say. Like, I hate people like, you know, I agree with some people on the right and the left. It's like the right in America is Joe Biden. The right in America is the Democratic Party. The American conservatism and republicanism in America is just, you know, a far right ideology. And, you know, these guys as well, the Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk, essentially simping for the British royal family, I think says it all. And they're only doing that because they're racist and they want to attack Meghan Markle. So these so-called patriots and you know, these guys who love the founding fathers are, you know, simping for the British royal family just because they're racist. And they agree with them on an issue of racism. So I think the main thing is we stop treating American conservatism or Ben Shapiro or any of these people like they're not pushing a far-right ideology that is just completely damaging for the world. Like, I'll tolerate the Joe Bidens and Kamala Harrises of the world for being like right-wingers, but I'm not going to pretend someone like Ben Shapiro has anything relevant to say. I think it's important to debunk these people, to point out how, you know, unhinged a lot of them are and how either they're being paid or they just fundamentally have far-right beliefs. And, you know, Ben Shapiro is one example. There's plenty of them. And it's scary how Ben Shapiro has such an alliance with Facebook to essentially indoctrinate loads of people into his ideology. And I think, you know, it's all fun and games to make fun of someone like this. But that's why I had such a problem with someone like PewDiePie bringing Ben Shapiro on for like that meme review stuff. It's like you're literally showcasing to millions of your young fans this guy who says loads of fash adjacent stuff, and you don't see a problem with that. And that's a whole other thing about PewDiePie. Would I debate Shapiro or Kurt? Yeah, sure, I'd do it. Not sure how much it would help with anything though, because I'm not going to change anyone's mind really. That's why I don't think debates always work. Anyway, I think that's about it. Streamed for about 50 minutes. So thank you guys all for joining. If you missed this, I'm going to be putting it on my second channel, the Tabernacle Extra. Link should be in the bio or the description. But yeah, please check it out if you want to hear my whole take on it. I will make another video for tomorrow. I'm going to stream on Thursday as well. And yeah, just check out my work if you're interested. And thank you all for joining the stream. Only a short one today. Hopefully stream a bit longer on Thursday. But I appreciate you guys all tuning in.